Hey, hey, caregivers. It's Marguerite. I wanted to talk today about how I came up with my name for myself. It's been one of those things that I've been tweaking over the last few years of my career because being in homes every day, one of the things that you learn really quickly is that you're not going to make a change in 5 minutes. Especially some of you guys have been on this journey for a long time. So I've really learned to tread lightly because I know that if I come in and say, you must do this, are you going to listen? Are you going to be ready to go? No, you're not. So that's where my whole approach has come from. And that's really where I've kind of landed on the name for myself, the Caregiver Whisperer, because I'm going to give suggestions. I am going to make recommendations that I feel in this current situation you might be able to work with and you might be successful with these. So it's all based on my years of experience. And one of the things that I do really try to get across to all of my families is that you can take my advice or you can leave it. I don't know what your life is like once I step out the door. I don't know everything about your situation, and I do not pretend to. So when I say or I bring up a suggestion or an idea, just know it comes from my years of experience out there working with you guys. Most of my super secrets and my tricks and the things that I've learned from you, from caregivers just like you. So when I'm bringing up some sort of suggestion or coming up with an idea, it's because I've learned it, not out of a textbook, not out of, some clinical framework or a new seminar or a new approach. No, I learned it from you guys. You guys have taught me the most. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there and say that I am going to make suggestions. I am going to say, here, this is what I've seen work for other people. But if it doesn't work for you, and especially in your part in the caregiving journey, because as many of you do know that this can be a long journey. And when we start out, we try to do everything by the book. We try to follow every piece of medical advice because we don't want to do it wrong. And you're not doing it wrong. You're doing it the best you can with what you have to work with in that moment. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay. So I just kind of want people to understand that I'm on your side. What is in the textbook or what might have worked for another family might not work for you. It might not be where you're at right now. And again, that's okay. So I guess I feel really strongly about giving caregivers permission slips. And I do this in my daily work with my families with hospice as well, especially those who've been doing it alone for a lot of years. One of the things that I see that kind of struck me as interesting when I walk into some of these stores, and they've been doing it on their own for 3 years. Like, literally, I went to see this lovely man who had been caregiving for his mom for 3 years. He's been in the house with her for the last year, and he hasn't been able to leave the house without her. So if he needs to go out, he needs to put mom in the car. And one of his reactions when I first met him was fear of judgment. He kept making explanations for how things were in the house. And the house was totally fine. I mean, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. but he felt like he needed to explain why this wasn't taken care of up to what somebody else might think it needed to be. And that fear of judgment is so real. So I always try to make families comfortable and just let them know, hey, this is your house. Of course, you've got a few more important things to do here. That woman that you're taking care of, that's your focus, and that's perfect. And you could see during that initial meeting, he calmed down because that fear is real. Fear of judgment, fear of, am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? And the medical profession has really kind of trained folks to always second guess, am I doing what's right for my parent? And honestly, I'm working on a whole article on that because it is really a systemic thing that is out there to try to gloss over all of the nuances that you and I know you deal with on a daily basis. It's not cut and dry. It's not a note in the chart. It's not a click button on that form that the doctor has to fill out or the nurse has to fill out or the therapist has to fill out. There's a lot of gray area and there's a lot of in between. And the other thing that I really have noticed and I really do believe is that when those of us, we've been doing things in the same way. I mean, how long does it take us really to make a change that's going to be ongoing? So again, if I make a suggestion, I say, well, why don't you try this? These are some of the things you could ask for. And you could say, that's just not going to work in my situation. And that's okay. That's okay. All I ask of people is to keep that door open, to leave open the possibility of something, that something might help you. It may not be exactly what someone said. It might not be that exact same phrase or that exact same way, but keep the door open to the possibilities, just to the possibilities. And again, I had this conversation with a caregiver yesterday who is in healthcare, but her experiences have been very different. Being in the acute care setting is very different than being in the situation that she is now, caring for her mom who has advancing dementia. So it took a lot of education. It took a lot of explaining, examples, teaching. And that's my job. Did she take all of my recommendations by the end of that conversation? No, she didn't. She took some and she's going to think about it. And that's all I asked her. I looked right at her and I said, all I ask you is to keep that door open. Because in my experience and what I've seen, these are the things that could happen. They could happen. I mean, again, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know for sure. I can't read the tea leaves or whichever. But in my experience, this is what I have seen. I'm going to share with you things that I thought would work that don't work. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, if I just get this set up just right, this person with advanced dementia, of course they're going to be able to transfer on and off. And well, no, it did not work out so well. There's many different factors, many different things, and we were beyond that point. But it was a good lesson for me to learn. And I share that as well. I've shared things that don't work. I will share things that surprise me that work. And again, I keep going back to what you, the caregivers, have taught me. I've learned so much over the last 7, 8 years, actually more than that. I've learned so much about not only the physical side of things, not only about the disease progression, but just about people as they age. And I know, working with caregivers for this long, that most of us are maybe a little over 50, maybe. So with that comes another layer of understanding. And the more that I learn about the aging process and the more that I witness different people's journeys, because this caregiving experience is a journey. It is a long journey. And I wish I could say differently, but it's a long journey. So in that journey, there are going to be ups and there are going to be downs. And there's going to be this long road of what I call the messy middle, where things are pretty much status quo. And the status quo might be predictable, but it's kind of stagnant. And it's good in one sense because things aren't progressing. Maybe you're not having a lot more falls in the home, or maybe the disease process is kind of leveling out. So the person isn't getting worse. And that's a good thing. But the other thing that you'll hear me talk about, especially in this messy middle of the journey, is the and. I'm going to be talking a lot about and. Because what I've seen in this messy middle is that people's worlds they shrink and they shrink and they shrink. And as our world shrinks, all kinds of things can happen. And I think we all saw that during COVID, that horrible time where our worlds were just totally shut down. And we had to relearn how to get out there and interact with people in a different way. So it's in that messy middle. That's where I want to offer some hope. I want to offer the possibility of having some joy. I want to offer that possibility of you, the caregiver, not shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and crawling across that finish line. Because that's what I see sometimes with folks in hospice. They've been doing this so long by themselves and they're exhausted. Their health is failing, all the things. But I really do see people that have been doing this for so long and they're crawling across the finish line. And I don't want that for you. I really don't. I want you to come out of this experience with a piece of yourself, some good memories of being with your person. And in some situations, and I will talk more about this, and I want to put my little asterisks here and put a major hear me. This is a hear me moment, okay? There are some of us out here who are caring for people that it would not have been our choice. We might have some real history with this person that makes that relationship really tricky. And I'm acknowledging that. And hear me say that. I mean that with every fiber of my being. I've worked with people that are in this situation, and we'll talk more, and there will be a video just for you guys because it is real. It is a real thing. And if some of the things that I am saying to you might not be possible because of this type of relationship that you have, or maybe there's a lot of complex emotions in here, which there are. In caregiving, it's the most intimate thing you can do for another person. It's the most intimate thing. So there's so much complexity in here. It's not a matter of filling a pillbox. If it was that easy, then yeah, we really could train robots to come in and, do that, and we would be all set. But it's not that. So those of you who are caring for somebody who is difficult, who you had one of those relationships with that isn't, warm and fuzzy, I see you. And everything that you're going through and everything that you are struggling with is valid. Okay, so I don't want folks to think that they don't have a place here if their relationship isn't perfect or this is a real struggle to do this for your person, because it happens. And if that's you, I'll give you a special shout out right this minute and say thank you for stepping up and doing the hardest thing you will ever do. It is pretty incredible that you have chosen to do this. So I'm sending you a great big hug. So again, that's really what I wanted to come on today and just talk about and put out there, is that I am going to whisper things out into the universe. And not everything is going to work for your situation. I had one person reach out to me the other day and just put it out there and say, there is nobody, there is no things, and this is where we are there. And that is 100% right and okay. And we have different seasons on this journey too. Like I said, the path it's wandering. It's not a linear straight line. So if you're in one of those spots, again, just keep that door open. Follow along, and hopefully there'll be something that I can give you that will make this part of your journey a little bit easier, more tolerable, and so you feel less alone. Because when we feel all alone and like nobody else understands what we're going through, that really is the worst feeling. And you are not alone. If you're on my email list and you're really struggling, hit reply. I get back to you. Even though I'm still working on building this community, I will get back to you. And I might not be able to come and solve your problem or make things better, but I can let you know that you are not alone. You can reach out and say, hey, this really stinks today. And I will hear you and I will get back to you. So that's me. I'm Marguerite. I'm the Caregiver Whisperer. And I am so excited to be part of your journey. I just want you to know you're not alone. And if you didn't get the Caregiver Teen Planner, definitely comment and I will get it out to you, or send me an email. But if you don't, or you lost it, you need another copy, no worries. I did update it just a tiny bit, but all right, friends, have a calm day. I hope to talk soon. Take care.